ticks are just kind of waking up from the winter and they're looking to get their blood meal. Mosquitoes hate flying in wind. Best thing to do, go and get one of those box fans.
Down in Springfield, I had a visit from representatives of the Mosquito Abatement District to learn more about mosquitoes, mosquito breeding areas, other pests like ticks. And so we'll talk about this in this edition of the Morrison Report. Stay tuned and learn something. So far we've had a very wet spring, but it's been chilly.
If it starts really warming up, and we have nights, especially when it's nights above 60 degrees, when we're getting into the 80s during the day, 60s during night, that's when, and we have a lot of standing water, that's when we might see a lot of nuisance mosquitoes. Memorial Day is usually when we first start seeing that first big bloom of mosquitoes. We have over 40 traps that we put out and run 24 hours a day throughout our entire 242 square mile district. And we will go and pick those up. We will ID all of those traps down to the species level, and then we will keep track of that so that I can make graphs and say, okay, we're starting to see a real upswing. The ones that carry West Nile virus, I really start to do a lot more testing in July and August. And that will tell me exactly how much virus are we seeing throughout our district. Sometimes that involves going out and doing night spray.
Okay.
And night spray is really our last resort. We like to try to control all of the mosquitoes at the larval stage. It's much easier, they're more contained, we have more tools with that. But there are times when we have to go out and we'll do night spray, mostly to control West Nile virus mosquitoes.
Yeah, every once in a while we'll get a call to our district office. Someone is concerned about the trucks going out and spraying, and so what can you say to the average person?
We are putting out a pesticide, but we put it out at what is known as ultra low volume, a tenth of what you would see them putting out on like a farm field. We're also using a product that is environmentally friendly. So the fog that's being put out in there will only kill mosquitoes or things mosquito size. We only go out at night for two very good reasons. One, that's when mosquitoes are out, and bees and butterflies and other insects
are gone dormant for the night.
Dormant. As soon as the sun comes up the next day, it breaks down into non-toxic.
But if someone was concerned, they could call your office and be alerted ahead of time.
Exactly. We have what's known as a prior notification list. They can call us up and we can send a text message, we can send an email, and for people that don't have that available, we can have them we can actually give them a phone call. So what we tell people is anything that can hold water for 5 to 7 days, especially once we start getting into July and August. It's not unusual for me to walk into people's backyards and they may be do-it-yourselfers and 5-gallon buckets. In a 5-gallon bucket, I have literally found 1,000 mosquito larvae. There are people in their backyards that they may have water that stands in their backyards, and unfortunately we can't get to every single person's backyard. We're focused more on some of these bigger areas. You go to Ace Hardware, Menards, your favorite hardware store, and you can pick up these things known as mosquito dunks. They look basically like little donuts, and you can buy those. And what you do is you throw them in the water, and the mosquitoes will actually eat them as they dissolve, and it will kill them. They're very environmentally friendly. A lot of the products that we use for mosquito larvae only affect mosquito larvae. If you want to enjoy your backyard, best thing to do, go and get one of those box fans from your hardware store or whatever, or get one of the bigger rotating ones. Turn it on, set a breeze up, turn it on to medium, and have that blow over you and your family as it's going there. Mosquitoes hate flying in wind. You know, if you're going to be out for a long time, wear insect repellent. Make sure it either has DEET, picaridin, or IR3535. Those are the ones that are going to last. You can start to look for some more of what they call the natural products, a couple of them that are based on soybean oil or something like that. Those have been shown to work. They just won't last as long.
What about colors that you might wear?
Colors, you really don't want to wear dark clothes. Like, this is not something that would be really great. If the mosquitoes were swarming around here, you want to wear light colored clothes for that. And again, if you're going to be out, most people don't like to do it, but if you're worried about West Nile virus or bites, wear long sleeve shirts and long pants.
Okay. So I know your primary focus is mosquito abatement, but the risk of a tick bite.
Especially now from about mid-May until about late June is when you're really going to start seeing ticks are just kind of waking up from the winter and they're looking to get their blood meal. And so if you're out and you're walking in an area like this, if you find a tick on you, whatever you do, do not burn them off. Do not, use nail polish remover. Those are old wives' tales. Get a pair of forceps, get right down where they're sort of attached to you, and pull them out. It's important when you spend a lot of time out in nature, especially at this time, you do a tick check, because some of the ticks that carry Lyme disease are incredibly, incredibly tiny. They're about the size of a period at the end of a standard sentence.
How soon will a tick actually
attach and start to attach itself? Usually you have about an hour, maybe even longer if you want to. You can send any tick that you get down to the University of Illinois Natural History Survey website, and they will give you an address where you can send those ticks. They will identify it for you, so if it is one of the small deer ticks, they can tell you about that. If you find an embedded deer tick, go to your doctor. The doctor will prescribe you antibiotics, mostly as a prophylactic.
Okay.
But it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
It can save you from getting some of these really nasty diseases like Lyme disease and some of the other ones. Sure. Anybody that's interested in acquiring more information about the district or mosquitoes can go to www.nwmadil.com, and you can call us with any complaints, anything you're interested in hearing about. So
hope you learned something. I certainly did. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.